We are Steven and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Good day.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about waiting for the people on TV to tell us when we can be educated or not.
Because that's the right thing to do, right?
I had a blast writing this title.
I bet.
And Jill, as usual, just put up with it.
Oh, yeah.
What does this mean to you? What does this title mean to you, Jill? Because I think we're pretty much on the same page about this.
Oh, my gosh. I'm frustrated by we're all sitting around waiting for people to tell us it's okay to do this. It's not okay to do that. Now you can buy this. Now you don't buy that. And the bigger part is this is a huge opportunity while we're all have some time that we could be really learning something and reaching out and taking matters into our own hands.
This is how this came up. Jill and I have 3 kids together, and the third one's still at home. He's a sophomore in high school, and he hasn't had to go to school for quite some time.
Yeah.
He's waiting for the people on TV
Yeah.
to say it's okay to go back to school.
Do you know what my favorite is? I gotta say this. Here's what pushed me over the edge. Have you heard this? We sat him down and said, what's going on? And we're pushing him to do his schoolwork and everything. He's like, look, I just want to enjoy my life right now. Like it's a summer break. We're like, oh no.
Then steam came out of mom's ears.
Yes. He thinks this is the spring break that melds into summer break. Yay, I don't have to do anything. Guess again.
So, I mean, to his credit, he's been on a pretty good schedule. He's still a teenager. There's stuff that happens, but
I would have done
we'll
the
talk
same
about
thing.
the topic. So would I.
I would have done the same thing. And this is why we're doing the show too. I would have done the same thing. And I needed to be pushed. And me personally, I was not pushed in high school. I did want to please my parents, so I got A's, but I did the bare minimum I had to get A's. I could have done all kinds of stuff. I could have really gone ahead and gone above and beyond, but I didn't. And I wish somebody would have pushed me a little bit. And I want to push our kid, and I want to push you.
Well, the real point to this is, and we're going to get to the question here, the real point to this is that there's no reason ever that any government or any type of institution or anyone, for that matter, including your parents or your children, they're going to tell you when it's okay to be educated again.
Right.
Or when it's not okay to be educated. The foundation of everything in the human race is based on education, and more of it's always better. Mm-hmm. Always. So it's a true tragedy that we're in, where we're all sitting around waiting for the people on TV to tell us we can go back to being educated.
Right.
And as land investors and entrepreneurs in general, we don't need them to tell us to do that. We can do it with the internet. It's packed full, including the education company Jill and I have, is packed full of stuff to learn. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the LandInvestorscom online community. It's free.
Brandon wrote, so I just did the same search criteria with RealQuest Pro and DataTree, and I got an insanely huge difference of property reports. 16,500 with RealQuest Pro and only 4,800 with DataTree. What is the biggest difference in how they pull data? I also just did the whole county instead of going by zip code just to see what the difference would be. Any help would be great. So it's 16,000 versus 4,000 is a big difference in cost, and I would like my next mailer to not flop, obviously, while spending so much money. So 1 hour later.
1 hour later, he came back and said this.
1 hour later, here we go. Update. I just did a search on DataTree and took off the assessed improvement value option, and the results went to 14,000. But that's still a $2,000 difference.
2,000 unit.
Or excuse me, 2,000 unit difference. And does that mean RealQuest Pro improvement criteria filter is meaningless? So I was going to say my first point is there's something checked that's a little bit different, which he just found right there. Obviously, look, uncheck that one box. You think you're selecting the same thing. They may be labeled a little bit differently for the company, and that's partially why you're getting some differences.
Jill's exactly right.
Okay.
It all has to do with buckets. So data tree, if you start like this, anytime you have two data sets and you're comparing them, there's going to be discrepancies. I hate to sound like a politician. Oh, that's great, Steve. Thanks a lot for that canned answer. You told me nothing. Let's just start there. Two data sets, you're going to have different data. Let's get them equal first. So if you go to Los Angeles County in data tree and you see how many pieces of real estate, forget about checking any boxes or buckets. How many pieces of real estate are in LA County? Great, this is the number. How many in data tree? How many pieces are in RealQuest? Properties are in RealQuest. It's very, very, very close. It's within 20 units.
Right. I love it. I'm going the same way. I'm giving a visual. I'm seeing it visually.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're here and here, which I totally agree with you. That's what I would do. Go ahead.
Then you want an improved, let's say you want to take out everything. You only want land. All right. So that's really what this question is. I'm removing any properties that have any improvement value, which is structures or improvements. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. In data tree, completely different companies. Data tree might look at that column or that it's a table in that database differently. So you really have to play with them both to make sure that you're getting the right data. I've long said, and there's this long string about this in Land Investors, a lot of people are piped in on it because it's a good question. I have long said that RealQuest is a little bit more accurate when it comes to land. How they handle improvement value is better. So, that's not necessarily the case everywhere. There's all kinds of differences going on. RealQuest pulls their data from the assessor database, as does DataTree, but how they manage that data from a database, like a big data scenario, how they manage it might be a little bit different. That's why we have, that's why we have we're licensed providers for all three, so you can horse around with it and look at it. And let me finish on this. Data is to be messed with. It's not, we've had developers, Jill and I get a call from a very intelligent set of developers a lot, probably once every other week. And they're patting themselves on the back and they're saying, hey, Jill and Steve, we can make this product for you where you press a button and it does whatever, and it gives the 1,200 units that you're going to send out. It makes sense, and then we can connect it to O2O, and you don't have to do any work. And you know what? That's not what this is about. This is not about creating an easy button. It's about learning how to manipulate data and making little tiny decisions as you're going through the scrubbing process, and so that when you get the results from a mailer, you send a bunch of mail out, you get the results, you buy and sell a few pieces of property, and you say, you know what? I've been doing 4 times I've done this data set this way. I'm not sure I need to include industrial property anymore. People just don't call me back. Or I totally should include industrial property on this next one because I inadvertently bought 2 properties from an industrial property owner. And so there's endless, literally limitless combinations of details that go on with these scrubs. That's the reason I'm good at this. It's because I've done this a million times. So I don't think that the fact that you're getting a discrepancy, Brandon, is great. I want you to keep testing the data back and forth. I want you to spend hours on a mailer, not just seconds. I don't want you to hit a click funnel button that takes your data down and there's a data set and you send it and you go have a Coke and watch TV.
I agree. This is why I hate, what's the one that, Agent Pro 24/7. A lot of people love Agent Pro 24/7, and that's the reason why. There's like, look, I just hit it says rural vacant land. It says like motivated sellers, rural vacant land, hit this button. Oh, that's great. What does that mean? I bet if I ask anybody, what is that exactly? They're going to be like, well, I don't know, but everybody else uses it, so I'm doing it too.
Well, they'll answer your
like,
question.
It's you know what it is? It's like you're buying a list from somebody else that they created for you, not your list. You need to, like you just said, this very, very long-windedly.
Wow, really?
I'm just kidding. It was good. It was very good. It was good. It was good. This is a show. It was a show. Every time I kind of go, no, anyway. I will hold all my comments till the end. So anyway.
Data is the nucleus of why this works. It's why House Academy works, and we're soon to release Car Academy here. It's all data. If you ask any seasoned real estate investor about data, they will look cross-eyed at you and say, I don't know what you're talking about. That's what separates us, the Land Academy, the group that we have, with everybody else out there. Everybody else is guessing.
And you want to pick, you want to know what you're getting is what you're getting. You know what I mean? So
there's some idea.
That's the thing. You want to really be able to do the exact criteria, your criteria. First, you got to know your criteria, and then you want to use your criteria. And like you said too, there's a reason why we use. There are some nuances between all the companies, and it still comes back. We love RealQuest.
She's exactly right. I mean, behind every easy button, like she described, these are motivated sellers. Behind that is usually a developer who's completely unqualified to build a case scenario for what's behind that easy button. They might think, or somebody told them, that people who own land with no improvements values for more than 10 years are motivated sellers.
Right.
And so that's for us to decide. That's not for a developer to decide. And that's why it's important to do this manually.
Right. It may even be like, it was quick claimed within the last 5 years, so we can all tell they inherited it, or something like that. And they think that that's going to be the solution. So, anyway.
The largest source of frustration for what I do in my life right now at work.
Please don't be me.
Is not. It's not working with Jill.
Oh,
it's
good.
not.
The
it's
largest
not
source of frustration in my life
is dealing with tech developers and their attitude and their ego, and every single one of them, with one exception. Thank you, Roy. One exception. They all think they know more than me about all of this.
That's true.
They all talk down to Jill and I, like, because of our age. It's total full-blown age discrimination.
Yeah.
Because of our age, they just don't think we really even have ever been on a computer before.
That's the funniest thing.
Thank you for letting me rant.
You got it. You know what? And to their credit, some of our friends are there.
Yeah.
But we're not. That's not us.
There are other people our age that have
perpetuate that stereotype.
have led them to that conclusion, probably rightfully so.
Right.
And so by the time they get to us, their opinions all formed about our age and computers.
Yeah, and then we have to undo it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's topic, waiting for the people on TV to tell us when we can be educated. This is the meat of the show.
Let me take that a step further. Try being a girl.
Uh-huh.
This is even worse.
This is good.
It's worse for me. Because at my age, and I'm a girl, I couldn't possibly know what I'm talking about. Remember when we used to have those things you can go to, like a group meeting, like in 2019, and you get a bunch of investors together? Those were fun. But as a girl standing in the back of the room, they think that I'm like arm candy for him or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'm his secretary and I'm here to take notes. It's the funniest thing. And then sometimes I say things and then they're caught off guard. They're like, what the heck?
Every live event, this happens 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Somebody stands up and asks a question, and I start to answer it, and they say, no. This is a question for Jill.
Oh.
And I love when that happens.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this show, we already kind of alluded to it, is that why are we just sitting around? Some people are really sitting around, glued to the TV. We know that one. When there's so much you could be doing.
There's always these stories, these personal stories. This is my favorite type of personal underdog story. And I'm not a big fan of personal stories. I'm a big fan of data. But every once in a while, somebody will tell their life story. And they'll say, I grew up, with not enough food, in the most horrific conditions you can possibly imagine. And they're a bajillionaire. Or they've set out to accomplish whatever it is that they were going to accomplish. It's not necessarily financial success, but I don't know, an accomplished author or, emergency room doctor. And those people didn't sit around and wait to get educated. They didn't have the advantages that most of us have. They probably didn't have access to certainly the same type of education, but it didn't stop them. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing here. We can't sit around and wait to be educated. Only you personally, I don't care how old you are, not your parents, and not anybody, not your children, and certainly not your spouse, can tell you that, okay, you're educated enough, or you know what, let's just chill out, and in a couple weeks we'll start the Land Academy program, and we'll get to it then.
Good idea. Let's wait until we're back to work and then really dive in with everything.
It would be a true tragedy if any version of that went on.
Yeah.
People who are successful don't wait for other people to tell them what to do or what not to do. And that's really what's going on in this. I don't want to sound like your father, but I probably do. That's really what's going on in this market right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who have a really loud voice, and they're very, very, very used to having a boss and being told, stand up, sit down. We're all raised like that
Right.
in our classrooms, unfortunately. To pay attention, there's somebody up there telling us what to do and when to do it. And then we go to college, a little bit less so. Some of us do, some of us don't. We get into the workforce. Now we have a boss instead of a teacher telling us what to do. Before your teacher, it was your parents. So it's very easy to fall into that. Well, the teacher's away, so I'm just going to horse around.
Exactly. That's a good point. It's like everyone right now is in substitute teacher mode. You think I'm kidding?
No, it's a great analogy.
It's really good. And that's true. Well, this conversation started because of our kid, and we're watching our kid, and I'm really kind of mad. I'm actually mad at our educators right now for our school in particular. I don't know about all schools. I only know our school right now, and they're more worried about our children's social well-being and being connected right now. Well, I'm going to connect with my kid in a different way. It might be my foot on. No, I'm just kidding.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
He's a great kid, actually.
No, but
he's a teenager. He's used to having. Did I interrupt you?
it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
I thought there was a pause. Go ahead.
No, it's all right.
We're gonna work this out.
No, I know it's all right. You go ahead and talk now.
No,
It just
go ahead.
changed my train of thought, though.
Sorry.
Well, I know.
Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought, so go right ahead.
No one can tell you when you're supposed to be educated or when you're not. And our group, we're entrepreneurs here. Some of us are at the later stages in the entrepreneur thing and enjoying kind of the spoils. Some of us are at the very, very beginning. And for whatever reason you've chosen this path, just trust me on this. You got to make your own time, make your own schedule, and don't get educated from people like us. But I'm certainly not going to tell you, and nobody else should, when you can get educated, how much you can get educated. I mean, what if Jill and I said something like this? There's 4 or 5 places that on the internet that I know of where you can learn how to buy and sell land. But we are the only one. I don't want you to go pay attention to anybody else's stuff. It's all meaningless. We're the only one. We're the best one. That's crazy.
I know.
I want you to go educate. Choose the best one that's for you.
I agree. Whatever's going to get you motivated and teach you and learning, that's the best thing. I have had a lot of people, seems like a lot of people come to us from other programs, and I think that's the greatest thing. It got them motivated. It got them excited. They're like, I got the ball rolling. Now I'm to you guys because I need the systems. I need the data. I know you guys are the best for taking this to the next level and really making it a business. Not just learning the little things, whatever it is. And I really firmly believe that you're going to get something from everybody. I never feel like I've wasted time, or I never want anyone to feel like they wasted time, because I'm sure that listening to someone else's point of view, even about the exact same thing, you're going to get some nugget from that. I think it's great.
When this virus thing started, about a week into it, I'm just the stuff that I'm watching on TV, my jaw's on the coffee table.
Right.
Because when it started, and I'm just giving facts here. Jill and I, we've always half worked at home, so no change there.
Right.
Our people that work for us all have independent responsibilities and don't intentionally so don't need or want a lot of guidance from us. They work independently.
Right.
We're used to buying and selling a lot of land that sometimes that happens in front of a car seat. Sometimes it happens at 2:30 in the morning. And that's just how we've always lived our lives, Jill and I. In fact, we never even talked about it with each other until all this stuff went down.
Right.
And so a week and a half into this, I'm like, nothing's changed for us.
Exactly. How lucky are we?
And all of our people are like, nothing's really
And our
changed for
community
us.
too. They're like, yeah, I'm buying and selling land 2 states over anyway. I don't need to go there.
But
that's all I've been doing.
Watching stuff on TV where the world's just falling apart. So I guess we inadvertently chose this role we've given ourselves this role.
Right.
And so that's my point here.
Yeah.
They can't tell you what to do. Give yourself this role.
Yep. Happy you could join us today. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are next door on the House Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the House Academy show is called A Screwed Up Mailer? Now What? You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Doesn't happen often, but when it does,
you could still fix it.
Yeah.
I got lots of ways to fix it. The Land Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We're Steven Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.